I'm going to be remaking my faux leather pouches for my Rogue Cosplay. Here's my current one. They were made to be removable so that they can be adjusted. I can wear both, one, or none at all. Part of the reason I've chosen to remake them, one, is this number right here. So when I walk, they sort of flop from side to side because they are held on by this one strap with this wide horizontal layout. Also, these were designed to fit the phone that I no longer have, so my new phone doesn't really fit inside of these with its case. There's also a few things that I did not know about making things from foam at the time, as this was the first thing I'd ever tried to make from foam like this. I did not know that you should probably prime the foam before painting, so you'll see that there's areas along the edge and like here where it's scratching off and the bright purple foam is showing through. You can also see it really well here on the strap. I'm going to harvest a few things from this before I get rid of it. This metal piece is just the base from a ring, and I have a lot of those left, so I'm probably just gonna use a new one instead of trying to harvest this one. But I will be taking this magnet so that I don't have to get more of those. And I'll be taking these clips because for some reason they were a little difficult for me to find the first time in the size that I wanted, and to have two of them. So those are the items I'll be harvesting from my old pouches to make my new pouches. For my new design, because part of the issue was this flopping around from only having the strap, I actually want the layout to be vertical instead of horizontal. So this is my new template. So what I did on the computer, I measured my phone with a ruler and put that measurement into a rectangle with a little bit of extra room so that this can actually slide in. Then I added tabs out to each side, and then added this main rectangle again to the end, and then a little flap at the top. So this will make a sort of envelope that will eventually wrap around. I'm gonna start off harvesting my materials from my former phone. Trace my template out onto my foam. Now, last time I made the pouches, I used a couple sheets of this foam, but this time I'm going to use a roll of this 4mm foam. Just gonna roll that out, put my template on top. And I'm actually going to line the back edge up with the back of the foam and line this corner up with that. Use the tape that was hanging off. Because I am a little stingy with materials. And then use this nice silver marker and trace it out. Set the template aside. And I'm gonna cut it out. To make this a little bit easier on myself, I'm gonna start by just kind of cutting this part out. And cutting this piece out is just gonna make cutting out the shape a little more manageable than having that huge roll to have to work with. And I am cutting on a self-healing mat. This one before I seal up this edge. So I've glued up both edges and it's kind of messy looking, but I can deal with that later. Go down 1 inch and then down 3 inches. Formed. Go down 1 inch, go down to the 3 inch mark. Then this will get glued in place. Just going to show a little update of what I've been doing with the pouches. So this edge where I had all this hot glue mess, I've been taking this kind of medium grit sanding sponge and I've been going over the edges to try to smooth them out. Still not exactly pretty, but I'm hoping that if I can at least smooth it down, when I go over it with the plastidip, you won't even be able to tell. So we'll see how that goes. I've also made a few scratches. There were certain places it wasn't intentional, but places like this, intentional, to try to give it a little more of a worn look to go with my belt, a little more worn. So I'm about to try to plastidip the pouches now. And I've heard that if it's kind of chilly, it's good to put the plastidip in a bucket of warm water, so that's what I'm doing right now. Bricks to keep it from going sideways. Okay, gonna try this out. So I've got a piece of cardboard right here to put these on, so hopefully I don't get crap all over them. And I've gotta wait 30 minutes between layers, so let's do this. Alright, so after 2 coats on both the front and back, this is how my pouches turned out. The edges along here are kind of rough. I mean, I'm overall happy with how they turned out, but if I can clean this up a little bit, I'd like to, especially this one. So this would have been smarter to do beforehand, but I did not have this rotary tool when I worked on these last time, so I'm gonna try to take the rotary tool to the edges here to try to clean it up, and then go back over it with plastidip again. And we'll see how that goes. Got my respirator, that's what it was marketed as. So I've got the dust mask and safety goggles, or safety glasses, and I'm outside, so. Let's give this a whirl. This also might be a fun time to note that this is the first time I've used a rotary tool. Yeah, this probably would have worked out a lot better to have done this to begin with, but you know, you learn. So I think this would be boring to record doing this along this side and doing the same thing on this one, so I'm gonna turn off my camera and keep working. So another fun update, where this is covered in plastidip and hot glue, this is like coated my little sanding thing, so got a little bit into the second one, and I'm gonna have to pull this off and keep going. Last one. Alright, got them sanded down. Gonna give this a rest, clean up, and we'll do another layer of plastidip on it and come back. Okay, so this is what they look like after I use the rotary tool to kind of clean up the edges. Some of it's still kind of rough looking, but I do want it to be kind of worn leather in appearance when it's finished, so that's actually not bad. Now I need to attach my clips and my magnets and metal pieces, so I think my hot glue gun is heated up, so I'm gonna try to get that done. Also, I want to make sure that I'm putting the same kind of clips in the same places. Make things a little easier when I go to put these on later. Okay, before I actually glue this stuff down, I want to make sure it's going to wrap around this at the point I want. It's a good fit. I'd rather it be a little loose than way too snug. So let's try this out. I'm gonna give this a decent amount of time to really cool down before I try to flip it over and add the magnets. Okay, so this is the second pouch. I'm gonna let this sit and hopefully have more time to cool and the glue to get strong. And In the meantime, I'm gonna take the first pouch and try to place my metal and magnets. I'm gonna press it down into the foam to leave a kind of little temporary mark so I know where to put my glue. Okay, now I'm gonna see if I can do about the same thing to try to put my piece of metal. Alright, let this one cool, and gonna do the same thing on the other one. Alright, so I have mixed some paint up using black, brown, and red paint to get a color that is pretty close to this. And I'm just going to take that and start a base coat on my pouches. So I'm just gonna do a pass like this all over both of them and come back. To sort of be able to get the back, I'm holding this plastic part while I paint. Doesn't stop me from hitting it, but it is at least a way I can get to the back here without getting paint as badly all over my hands. Alright, so here's one coat, and time to go on with the second layer. Once again, gonna keep doing this on a second pass. So I'm taking some paint on a kind of brush like this, wiping part of it off, and then going over the edges. And the effect I'm trying to go for here is that if you look at my belt, kind of like right here, you can see the edges are more worn. It might be hard to see. I do have a spot on the inside that is a lot more worn down, so all the places that are fuzzy are this lighter color. The paint I'm using right now is probably going to be a little too subtle for that, but I'd rather build up with that. And then I'm going to go in just with straight paint from this. So it's kind of hard to really tell I've done much. So I'm going to keep doing this on the rest of it, and then I'm going to come back when I go to do the other pass of the lighter paint. Alright, going in with the lighter one now. And dabbing away excess with my finger. Really where I need to concentrate this is the very edges. So this is kind of getting that same sort of edge that gets. So I'm gonna keep doing that on the edges of all the pouches, and I'll come back and show you everything when I'm done. So a good news, bad news kind of thing. Good news is paint job's finished. Yay! Bad news, this magnet metal system is not going to cut it. Because this foam is thicker than last time, this does not remotely keep that closed. Something I probably should have tested before going through all this effort, but I did find out that I had this name tag for work, and that magnet is pretty strong, and actually just held the magnet to that, and that is staying shut. So I think what I'm actually going to do is when I go back to work, I'm gonna talk to my boss about getting some of these magnets so that I can use that to close my pouches. In the meantime, I'm going to do a layer or two of matte spray paint. Okay, so I have my magnetic back that is used for name tags. I'm just gonna take the metal piece and peel this double-sided tape that is used to hang signs on buildings, and place it over where I had my little metal piece before. And then for the magnet part, I'm gonna take some of this E6000 glue and rub it all over that. And then place that in about the place I had my magnet before. I'm gonna hold it down for a while, and I'm gonna let it sit overnight to make sure it holds well. So my pouches are all done now. I'm gonna show you how I clip them on. So I already have my belt on, and then I just slide those under. And that clips on. And that one's on. Slide my phone down in there. And it's finished. So I can see that this one kind of sticks out from my hip a little, but I can adjust them to different places. I can remove it if I change my mind, I don't want one or don't want either. I did learn quite a bit from this process. One thing I have to say that don't plastidip it if you still need to use a rotary tool on it. I didn't realize I was going to have to use the rotary tool, but if I had, I would have waited to plastidip. But I hope you're able to learn some stuff with me on this, and thanks for watching.